Hey everybody, this is Josh, and on today's episode I wanted to take you behind the scenes of the Displayit Show. But I've got Stuart here and I need to jump on camera, so on today's episode I wanted to share a little bit more about why we do the Displayit Show, how we connect and reach our audience, and what we've learned so far. If you're a marketer, the stuff we're going to share today is going to be very helpful to you and your business. So let's get started. We're more than 20 episodes into the Displayit Show, and a question I hear all the time is, Josh, why do you do it? What's the point of the Displayit Show? Well, there's two primary reasons we make this show, and they both come back to some lessons I've learned from a guy named Gary Vaynerchuk, who's a social media and business expert that I like to follow. The first one has to do with the changing nature of advertising. Today, if someone doesn't want to watch your TV commercial or listen to your radio ad, they don't have to. They can just ignore it. So today, advertising has to connect with your audience. You have to give them something of value, something that's going to either entertain or inform them. And so that's what we're doing with the Displayit Show. We're trying to create some material that's entertaining, but also gives you, our audience, the chance to learn more about who we are as people at Displayit and what we do as a company. We know that every minute that you spend watching with us, we have to earn that minute by providing you with great, outstanding value. The second has to do with this little device right here. This is my brand new iPhone 6s Plus. Look at this thing. It has an amazing screen. It's huge. It never leaves my side. And apparently, by the looks of my stats on my Facebook videos, it never leaves your side either. Look at this. This is a really amazing stat. I can see if we look at episode 18. Now this is the episode when I was surprising my wife with our trip to Disneyland. Now if we look at the viewership of this episode, I can tell by my stats here that we had 3,864 people that watched at least 10 seconds of this video. Now of that number, only 74 were watching on a desktop. That means that overwhelmingly, this is the device by which people are consuming this content. People are watching content like the Displayit Show in various free moments that they get throughout the day, whether it's waiting at the doctor's office for their appointment, or maybe you're watching TV and a commercial comes on, and then you watch something that you're a little bit more interested in, like the Displayit Show. No matter what it is, this device is really changing the way that businesses market and communicate with their customers. The next big question I get is, Josh, how do you get people to watch the show? Well, as you know, the primary platform that we use is Facebook, and we target our audiences in a couple different ways. The first is we target people who've actually been to our website. So Facebook allows you to put a tracking code in place on your website so that you can target visitors who've been to your site recently. So we have a list that allows us to target people who've been to our website in, let's say, the last 15 days, and even people who've been in the last 90 days. So we target those as individual groups. We can also target people who've watched previous episodes of the show. So Facebook gives you that ability as well. You can target all the people who've watched at least 3 seconds of the Displayit Show previously. And this is how we build up an ongoing audience. But one of the other cool things that we've done, if you remember back to one of our previous episodes, we did one about a John Maxwell leadership event that a number of our employees attended. So we asked our employees, tell us some of the key points that you learned at the John Maxwell event. And we made that an episode of the Displayit Show. And then once we had it, we could target people who were interested in John Maxwell. So we did that in two ways. We targeted people who are interested in John Maxwell, but also have interest in business marketing. And Facebook's tools allow you to do that. Another example is with the Disneyland episodes that we had and I mentioned earlier. I targeted that episode, that content, to people who love Disneyland, but also have a business marketing background. So it helps us to create a bridge. We have something of interest in the show that's going to connect with the audience that we're reaching out to. So finally, I wanted to share some of the things that we've learned. And there's really one key takeaway that we've learned that stands out to us, is that people love a story. So if we look back at some of the previous episodes, there's one episode where we went through the life of a display graphic here at Displayit. So we went from the process of when someone calls in and orders with us to as that job moves through our system, artwork pre-flight to production, sewing, and out the door. And when we did that episode, we saw that people stuck with the Displayit Show because when we use the Facebook tools, we can see how many people watch 25% of a video, 50%, 100%, so on. And we determined when we had a story, a beginning, a middle, and end, people stuck with the show much longer. Another example is the Disneyland episode. When we did that and I explained to the audience that we were going to be surprising my wife and I was going to share with her at the airport that we were going to go to Disneyland, people stuck with that episode to the very end because they wanted to see the climax. They wanted to see the moment when my wife found out we were going to Disneyland. And we even saw an effect where it appeared a number of people were skipping from the beginning of the episode to the end because they wanted to see the big moment. Now, of course, I didn't deliver because if you remember, I forgot to hit record. And I didn't push record. So I didn't record the moment. But that told me right there that people really crave a story. And so that kind of ties into the overwhelming lesson that we've learned about this. When we started the Displayit Show, we weren't sure if people would be that interested in it. But we found that people very much are interested in learning more about the companies and the people that they do businesses with. So they want to be able to jump into your story, learn about your story, connect with the people that you're working with, that they're working with. And that's what the Displayit Show has allowed us to do, to really connect with our clients and prospects on a deeper level. Well, I hope this has been helpful to you. Like I said, what we want to make sure is the Displayit Show provides you value. And we want to take the lessons that we're learning, share them with you, so hopefully it'll give you inspiration and you'll be able to apply these things into your business. Well, that's all I have for this week. I hope you found it helpful and useful, but it's time for me to get back to work. We'll see you guys again next time.